Today, Putin, the leader of Russia, and Xi, the leader of China, have gotten together for a meeting, and from all reports, they are the best of friends. They made pancakes together. They probably would like to go on a camping trip together, and sooner or later, you're going to see them in a hot tub together, shooting each other with silly string and laughing their heads off. But you might say, good night, these people they lead two such very, very different countries. Excuse me. And it's just amazing to think how they are working together so very, very well. So China has the second largest economy in the world after the United States. Their economy is about $17 trillion, and the United States is $24 trillion. So there's still some distance to cover in so fast. But the growth of China really has been something just short of miraculous over the last 50 years. And it is very, very remarkable. Russia, on the other hand, I think you could use the word stagnant. China is shipping out technology and infrastructure projects all around the world, helping third world countries, and then putting that country in their pocket insofar as the influence then that they have, insofar as the financial connections. Russia's just a big gas station. It has natural gas and oil to sell, but other than that, they don't really have a lot to offer the rest of the world. As compared to the second place of China, Russia is in 11th place on GDP, just under South Korea and just above Brazil. They got no game, as you might say. It's all just a kind of window dressing. We're the superpower. Well, I don't know if they ever were really the superpower. As I say, China is building all around the world. They're making connections and building wealth. Russia is doing nothing like that. Russia's best return on investment is misinformation and propaganda that it exports by the wagon load around the world. China is lifting itself up. Russia is just focused on tearing other democracies down as best they can, and helping people like Donald Trump get elected for the purpose of working destruction in the country. Russia is a kleptocracy. The wealth of the country is being siphoned off for Putin and his oligarchs, who are basically his personal piggy banks. If he ever needs some extra money, he can just kill off an oligarch or throw an oligarch in prison and take what they have, and that's money in his pocket. Xi doesn't seem to be working like that. If there is corruption found in China, my goodness, the hammer comes down hard. So China is building, Russia is tearing down in order to make progress. China builds to make progress, Russia tears down to make progress. Neither you nor I would want to live in China. It's the state is the preeminent value, and the individual comes in the purpose of the individual is to support the civil authority in China. Now, what do they have in common? In my opinion, there are two things they have in common. They both do not like us. They do not like, as Russia would call it, as Solzhenitsyn said, the decadent West. This Cold War that we had for decades and decades, which there is another word for a Cold War. That word is peace. We have had a long string now of decades of largely peace throughout the world. Far, there's still people killing each other all the time, but largely insofar as international conflict, we've been doing very, very well. And there's a number of reasons for that. That is not the point of, as Arlo Guthrie said, that's not what I came to talk about. The Chinese also don't like the West at all. All the coverage about the Ukraine is how the United States is causing terrible upheaval, and these poor Ukrainians, if they just got their act straight together, they'd throw off this help they're getting from the West and live in peace and happy. Anyway, and China has some good reasons, far more than Russia. The Boxer Rebellion for them, and the carving up of the East into economic value specifically to benefit the West, that's just a thing of yesterday for the Chinese. They remember that very, very well. And also, both Russia and China are constantly being called out by the West for crimes against their populations, the Chinese with the Uyghurs and many, many, many other situations. And once again, that's just the Chinese view of things, that the person is not the main thing. Their view is that a person's going to live, 70 years, but the state goes on for hundreds and hopefully for them thousands of years, and so the state is more important. Whereas our civil philosophy has been that people live forever, and the state only goes for 500-600 years, and so in fact the individual person is more important, and the state exists to benefit the public, not the other way around, as it is in China. But they both hate us, and so you can imagine they have a good time talking smack about the decadent West, and oh yeah, they're going to give up on Ukraine any second now because they're just living for themselves. But more important than that, and is that neither of them have any moral principles. If you say that the importance of your own civil authority is more important than individuals, then you can do any crime you want to individuals within your country. You can destroy lives left and right and just say, well, it's for the good of the country. The end justifies the means. There is nothing you cannot do. But the same is true of Putin. The last guy who spoke against him, right out a 6-story window, out of a hospital. His political opponent sitting in prison. People who spoke out against the war, his thugs come and beat those women and beat those women and beat those women because women are the ones who are first going to step out and make a noise against injustice. The West, however, has principles. And if you doubt that, then tell me why in the world we're spending billions and billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars to help Ukraine. No, we're not doing it just because we don't like Russia, and so we're going to oppose anything Russia does. No, we do not oppose anything Russia does. We oppose evil that they do when they invade another country. The West did the same thing when Hitler took off and he invaded the Sudetenland and then Austria. And then when he went in and took Poland, we said, sorry, and the West, Europe, declared war on him. Why? Poland's nothing. They saw the danger to themselves, but also they saw that Hitler needed to be stopped. Ukraine doesn't really affect us at all. Some people would say, oh, domino effect, he'll go after other NATO nations next. No, he wouldn't. He doesn't want to take on NATO. He wants low-hanging fruit, like Ukraine, that's right on his border, so he doesn't have to have a logistic operating procedure in force to move his troops very far. That is one of the things that I think they love about one another. The fact that neither one of them have any restraints of morality or principle to stop them in benefiting themselves, insofar as Putin is concerned, himself and then his country, and Xi benefiting China.